All right.
If I could get each one of you to say your name, the title of your film, and the answer to the question of what did you take most from this project that you did not have before? In other words, what spoke to you most in the doing of your filmmaking that you didn't know that was going to affect you? In other words, the surprise that you had from the story that you told. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I start with you?
My name's Faith. I did the pasta divorce. I guess how much I really like film and that it really secured what I wanted to do in college. I'm a film studies major, so it really was like that strengthening point right there.
That's awesome.
I'm Eric Jimenez. I made Filmmakers presents orchestra, so I guess what surprised me is that you can make a film without money.
I'm Noah. I helped create Parabola, these two gentlemen, and the thing that took away the most was to not cram editing in the last week. I was horrible for my sleep. Do not recommend it.
I'm Spencer. I directed Parabola, and something that I learned about it is that doing projects like this can really strengthen relationships with friends.
My name is Antonio. I was the assistant director for Parabola. One thing that kind of surprised me and that helped me, I think, was just trying to learn new experiences and try new things was really, I think, eye-opening, just because, this was our first debut as
Nice.
film, and so I think for the three of us, we're all still kind of learning how it is, and we want to improve.
My name is Lorena Villaco, and I did Artist Hope Breast Cancer Reflections. So I think it's true about relationships, forming relationships with people, for me, people that I love. So I took it very personally because I'm a breast cancer survivor. So I wanted to put all of this together and kind of follow, did a lot of exhibitions, and I wanted to record the artists and the artist interviews. So it really affected me. And even when I see it, it sometimes brings a tear to my eye.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Maddox Jimenez. I'm the producer of Fragile Express Presents. What I took away most from that film is that you can't get bogged down by the really huge idea that you have, and the fact that you need $1 million to create what you want to create. Just do it, just try to execute, just create, and then you will be able to pick up momentum and go from there. Fragile Express is something that we're actually revving up to crowdfund for. We've never crowdfunded before, we've just created and created. And so it's something that I think just showcases what we want to do, and just make things, and then more opportunities will come.
Nice. Cool. I'm going to open it up to the floor for anybody who has questions.
Alina, yes, for Alina. How long was the process of making your film?
Well, it took about 2.5 years because they were tied in with the exhibits. So we'd be the exhibit, and then I would interview one of the artists. And one artist was a trooper because I actually interviewed her 5 times. So, the dedication was something that I cherish. I was very grateful for that.
Right. Are you planning to do something? Where is this film standing right now?
Well, right now, I feel that I've been doing presentations in Miami, and then I've been entering it into public television, so hopefully PBS picks it up or something like that. And it's part of a series. It's part of the series of breast cancer.
Nice.
Little shorts. And I'm thinking maybe at the end I can just string them together and edit them that way, maybe a half an hour or maybe an hour. So it really depends on the material that I get. And people who want to participate.
Questions?
Any other questions?
Yes,
Question for Spencer is about where the idea came from and then how you kind of executed turning it into a film?
Yeah, the idea primarily came from I always grew up with 3 siblings. Like I always had so much going on in my life. Like I was never alone. And then they all went off to college, and I like kind of in the loneliness. I started making these videos on TikTok, like just cinematic things. I started writing scripts, and I posted one of them. And my friend Elvis, the one that plays my father, he's one of the toughest people I know, and it brought him to tears. And in doing that, Antonio actually called me up, and he called me and he said, "Yo, we should make a short film," and that's kind of, we just built off of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a question about Fragile Express. Is that part of an intended series?
Yes.
Yeah, sort of street level documentaries like that?
Yes, Fragile Express is, I mean, Eric can talk more about it,
Okay.
but it's a series that we want to create about a black market delivery driver on his scooter.
Cool.
Doing all sorts of deliveries throughout the city, primarily the Bronx. I don't know if you want to say anything.
You know, he runs into different characters along the way in different situations he goes through, and has to, you know, evade police, evade other people who are trying to rob him, and stuff like that. So it's part of a big, I guess, universe or a world.
Yeah. Not as calm as the prologue.
I'm sorry, what?
It's not as calm as the prologue, the rest of the series. It's going to get crazy.
Were you surprised at how funny it was?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be funny and, you know, also like, you know, dramatic too, but, yeah, I like going for comedy, you know, not at all.
Well done.
Another question? Let's go, guys.
On Fragile Express, what were you drawing from on that? Because I kind of got like early Scorsese, Spike Lee kind of vibes on that.
Well, one of my favorite movies is Taxi Driver, and I wanted to give that feel, like that kind of a old feel when we watched movies back in the days. I don't know how to explain it really. It like, felt different from movies about the city nowadays. So I wanted to for the show and everything, I want to give that feeling again, like that kind of nostalgia feeling of New York and the gritty parts of New York and stuff like that, like on the ground. But yeah, pretty right on the money way.
To each of you guys, so how do you decide the final cut that we just watched? Do you decide it by yourself, or you always get feedback from other people and try to tweak and adjust? So each of you, can you start from there?
I mean, it was due the next day, so I was really, I mean, it was just like, you gotta get it done, and we didn't really take too much takes, honestly. It was really kind of one long, big one, and then I just spliced it up. So it's just like, I let them do what they want, and they let me do what I want, and that's really kind of just how they went.
It was a school project for me, so I had feedback. My teacher didn't think I would probably be able to do something like that. He read the script and all that stuff, and I basically over time I show him footage and I show him like different edits, and he gave me different pointers. But yeah, like I pretty much it took like a few months. You know, like I had footage months before, so like I added stuff and. As best as I can, and I guess, yeah, I got feedback and I had to change it a few times. And of course I got feedback and I didn't listen.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I was kind of doing it last minute as well. I kind of led up to just putting it, like a couple clips in there and figuring out how it should be presented. But then we kind of reached the deadline and I was like, well, so I was kind of just throwing everything in there. Then my poor computer just had to render all of it, and it was rough, a lot of all-nighters. I would be texting Spencer constantly. I'm like, all right, here's your final draft. Put it on Google Drive. Got your result.
Yeah, the final cut was kind of basically what was possible. I mean, we're all high school students, and we didn't really have that many resources. I think our budget all in all was like whatever was in my bank account at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
Which is not much. And yeah, it was really like what was in the realm of possibility, what can line up. Noah's been editing for a long time, what can line up with his skills, what could line up with my friends as actors and just things like that.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I wasn't too involved with the editing process, but I was heavily getting people to be extras and join, and that whole process was really difficult because everybody has different schedules, so time was really hard, but you know, a lot of people still showed up and a lot of people supported us, so that's one of the reasons why I think that was.
Yes, it's very important to have support, and I hired professionals. But I had kind of difficulties with a few editors, but I was able to overcome it. And so I think that you need to, you know, as a director producer, take more control of the footage and have a good relationship with the editor. So I had, you know, I learned a lot. So, and in terms of editing as well, just to, you know, to take more control of it.
In terms of Fragile Express and feedback, I don't know if anyone's ever watched Spike Lee's Masterclass, but he talks a bit about how, because he doesn't have any formal training, he's able to think outside the box more often than people who have a very rigid training. And Eric, the director, we're a husband and wife duo, he's a career changer, so he's a former iron worker, and so he doesn't have the same training as some of his professors at school and things like that. So some feedback that they give him is really important, he needs to implement it, but some feedback that they gave him would have changed his entire vision altogether, and it would have changed his ideas of how the cuts go with the music. You know, one of his older professors was like, I don't like the jump.